Once upon a time, in a land of ice and snow, there lived two penguins named Pip and Puddles. Pip was an expert swimmer, gliding gracefully through the icy waters, while Puddles was still learning to swim. Puddles felt embarrassed that he couldn't swim as well as Pip. He had tried and failed many times, and he felt like giving up. But Pip wouldn't let him give up. He encouraged Puddles to keep trying, telling him that he would eventually get the hang of it. One day, Pip took Puddles out to the water to teach him how to swim. Pip held Puddles' fin and led him into the water. Puddles was scared at first, but he trusted his friend and followed his lead. Pip showed Puddles how to move his flippers and how to balance his body in the water. Puddles tried his best to copy Pip's movements, but he kept slipping and falling. Pip didn't give up. He encouraged Puddles to keep trying, telling him that he was doing great and that he would eventually get it. Puddles felt inspired by his friend's kind words, and he kept trying, determined to learn how to swim. After many attempts, Puddles finally got the hang of it. He was swimming on his own, with Pip watching proudly from the side. Puddles felt like he had accomplished something amazing, and he knew that he couldn't have done it without Pip's help. From that day on, Puddles became a confident swimmer, gliding through the icy waters just like Pip. The two friends would swim together, exploring the depths of the ocean and having fun. Puddles realized that sometimes all it takes is a little encouragement and help from a friend to achieve your goals. Pip had been there for him every step of the way, and he was grateful for his friendship. The two penguins continued to explore the ocean, teaching each other new things and having fun together. They knew that they were stronger together, and that they could accomplish anything if they worked together and encouraged each other. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Ashley who loved to run. She trained every day to become the fastest runner she could be, and she dreamed of winning the championship in her school's track and field competition. Finally, the day of the competition arrived. Ashley was nervous but excited as she stood at the starting line, ready to race. The other runners looked strong and determined, but Ashley was determined to give it her all. The race began, and Ashley sprinted ahead, feeling the wind in her hair and the adrenaline pumping through her veins. She felt strong and unstoppable, but suddenly she stumbled on a rock and fell to the ground. Ashley was devastated, but she didn't give up. She got up, dusted herself off, and continued running. She was no longer in first place, but she was determined to finish the race and do her best. As she crossed the finish line, she saw that she had come in third place. She was disappointed that she hadn't won, but she was proud of herself for giving it her all and finishing the race despite the setback. As the other runners congratulated her on her performance, Ashley realized that winning and losing wasn't the most important thing. What was important was that she had tried her best and never gave up, even when she fell down. Years later, Ashley looked back on that race and smiled. She realized that the lessons she learned on that day had stayed with her throughout her life. She had learned that success isn't always about winning, but about doing your best and never giving up. Once upon a time, there was a scientist named Dr. Maya who was determined to find a cure for a deadly disease that had affected many people around the world. Despite numerous setbacks and failed experiments, Dr. Maya never gave up on her mission. Dr. Maya had always been fascinated by the human body and the power of medicine. She had dedicated her life to researching and developing new treatments that could save lives. She spent long hours in her lab, poring over data and conducting experiments, always with the goal of finding a cure for this devastating disease. Many of Dr. Maya's colleagues had given up hope, telling her that it was impossible to find a cure for this disease. But Dr. Maya refused to listen. She knew that giving up was not an option. She believed that with enough hard work and dedication, she could make a breakthrough. Months turned into years, and still, Dr. Maya continued her research. She encountered many setbacks along the way, with experiments failing and funding running out. But every time she hit a roadblock, she reminded herself of her mission and found the strength to keep going. Finally, after years of hard work, Dr. Maya made a breakthrough. She discovered a treatment that could effectively cure the disease. She was ecstatic, and immediately began the process of getting the treatment approved for clinical trials. The trials were successful, and soon the treatment was available to those who needed it. Dr. Maya's hard work and determination had paid off. She had saved countless lives and brought hope to those who had previously had none. Dr. Maya's story serves as an inspiration to all those who feel like giving up on their dreams. She showed that with enough hard work and determination, anything is possible. Even when things seem impossible, it's important to keep pushing forward and never give up. Who knows what breakthroughs may be just around the corner? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Lily. She had always been self-conscious about her appearance and felt like she didn't fit in with the other kids at school. Lily had freckles on her nose, her hair was frizzy and her teeth were a little crooked. She often found herself comparing herself to the other girls and wishing she looked more like them. One day, Lily's mother took her to a museum where they saw a painting of a beautiful woman with striking features. Lily couldn't take her eyes off the painting and asked her mother who the woman was. Her mother explained that the woman was a famous artist who had struggled with her own self-image for many years. She had learned to embrace her unique look and use it as inspiration for her art. Lily was fascinated by this story and began to realize that beauty came in all shapes and sizes. She started to pay attention to the unique qualities that made her special, like her infectious laugh and her kind heart. She stopped comparing herself to others and started to love her own look. As she grew older, Lily became more confident in herself and her appearance. She discovered her own sense of style and learned to appreciate the things that made her stand out from the crowd. She even started to receive compliments from others about her beautiful smile and unique fashion choices. One day, Lily was walking down the street when a young girl approached her. The girl told Lily that she was her role model because she loved her own look and didn't care what other people thought. Lily was touched by the girl's words and realized that she had the power to inspire others to love themselves too. From that day on, Lily made a promise to herself to always embrace her own unique beauty and inspire others to do the same. She knew that true beauty came from within and that everyone had something special to offer. And so, she lived happily ever after, loving herself just the way she was. Once upon a time, In a dense forest, there stood a tree that was relatively shorter than the other trees around it. It was a sapling that had recently grown, and while it had a strong trunk and healthy leaves, it always felt self-conscious around the taller trees. The other trees towered over the little sapling, casting a long shadow that made it feel small and insignificant. It looked around and saw that the other trees were admired by animals and humans alike for their grandeur and height. The little sapling wanted to be tall like them and be the center of attention too. One day, a group of animals visited the forest. They marveled at the beauty and majesty of the towering trees, but as they looked around, one of them noticed the little sapling. It was small but looked healthy and vibrant, and the little animal was intrigued by its unique shape and beautiful leaves. The animal approached the sapling and asked it why it was so short. The sapling replied that it had just grown, and it was still in the process of reaching its full potential. The animal smiled and said, "Don't worry, little one, you may be small, but you are beautiful in your own way. And remember, even the tallest trees started off as tiny saplings just like you." The little sapling realized that the animal was right. It didn't need to be tall to be beautiful. It was perfect just the way it was. It stood tall and proud, taking in the sunshine and fresh air around it, and began to grow more confidently each day. Years passed, and the little sapling had grown into a magnificent tree. It was still shorter than the other trees around it, but it was no longer self-conscious. The other trees respected it for its perseverance and admired it for its unique beauty. Animals loved to climb and play in its branches, and humans marveled at its elegant shape and beautiful leaves. The little sapling had become a symbol of strength, resilience, and beauty, and it was loved by all who knew it. It had learned that being short didn't mean being insignificant. It had grown to be the best version of itself and found its place in the world.